So up until now, and you've maybe seen it in my Letchworth vlogs, I would take 2 or 3, touch different spots on the screen to expose different shots and then merge them in Lightroom after the fact. Now we can do it with pretty much one button press on the phone. It's honestly pretty good shot for a cell phone, obviously. And now we'll jump out in the field.
Okay, here we are shooting a kind of lackluster sunset. Open up Lightroom. Here we go. I've already created a collection. If you don't have any, little plus button here. Call it what you want. Away you go. You can create them all on your desktop, iPad, web, doesn't matter. So I've already got a collection. Go in, add photos, adds from your camera roll, and this little icon here brings up our camera app. And I'm currently in the new HDR mode. You can also switch to professional or automatic. With the iPhone, you only get 1/4 of a second for your shutter speed. On Android, you can go up to 30 seconds. But if I go HDR mode, which is the new feature for 2.7 or 2.3 on Android, give it a shot. This isn't the best example. Moving cars and not too crazy of a scene. There we go. Let's do under the water there. Now if I go back to my catalog, nothing's there. Check here. Processing captured photos. It can take quite a while. This is just a 6S. Through the magic of editing, we'll jump forward. There's some sunset for you. Oh, so one has been processed and now it is ready for upload. There we are. And if we go back, hopefully our second one is ready. There we go. I'll include these files overlaid so you can see them a little better, or maybe a Flickr link. But shot on the bridge, sunset's there, and of course we have all of our data. The Lightroom auto tone is always a little aggressive with overexposure. Boom, we are set. I can either edit this on my phone, desktop, Android, iPad, any computer in the world with Lightroom Web. Pretty fancy. And when you're shooting, you can do exposure compensation, white balance, and I believe focusing. But for here, pretty wide open. Your grid, timer, aspect ratio, and people like to honk at you when you're shooting photos on a bridge, I guess. Save unprocessed original. Let's give one of those a shot. Although my fingers are rapidly freezing. There we go. There's our DNG file. No signal right now, so they're still pending upload. But as soon as I'm on Wi-Fi, they'll hop back online. There we go. Beautiful. And actually, didn't do too bad on the ghosting eye. That's all there is to it. Now we'll go to Pro mode so you can see shutter speed, 1/10,000th, all the way up to 1/4 of a second. See the display starts to get a little laggy. ISO. Lock it at 100, and then just let your shutter speed go nuts. And when you're back here, you'll have a DNG file right away. And again, these will sync to your collection. I'll show a view of the collection online. And that's it. The only difference on Android is that you can't do HDR if you have greater than a 13 megapixel camera, I believe it is right now, and less than 3 gigs of RAM. Beautiful. Alright, that's all there is to it.
Okay, here we are in Lightroom. I'm using the collection that I was syncing to when I was shooting. And unfortunately, I imported my DSLR shots here as well. So we'll do a text search, DNG, and these should all be from the iPhone. Some of these are HDR shots. Some of them are just regular iPhone shots. I'm sure of it. There's one. And I did call it a lackluster sunset. Things did pick up a little bit. There we go. And a little bit, I did cheat. That's some white balance changes there, obviously. But the sunset did get exciting. This example here. Yeah, we don't need you. Not that that got us anything. So you can see the sunset all the way through. You can still expose for the backs of the cameras. Not bad. And as I mentioned, Lightroom will almost always overexpose when you auto-tone. But other than that, there's nothing to it. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Creates some cool imagery. This one, I brought the exposure down a bit already, I think, but it was up here. No, thank you. Let's go maybe like that. Cranking some clarity and some dehaze, because hey, YOLO, right? There we go. Fancy. And I would clone this out, but you know what? Let's do it over here. So go ahead and I'll clone this out. Not 100% acceptable. Instead of messing with it, I'll just go over top of it. Not bad for mobile. You see there's a bit of noise, but for what it is, and that's without noise reduction. It's pretty cool. There you go. Ooh, a little too much saturation maybe. Actually, I think that's just the red channel. Okay. Maybe the luminance a bit. And of course, a little dehaze magic. That's all there is to it. The auto tone is decent. It's not. I'm never super happy with it. And here's our movement from the vehicles. Unfortunately, so during one of the exposures, it was long enough for the cars to be moving. But you could average, 3 or 4 of these out, and maybe in Photoshop do a median blend. Get rid of the cars if you really wanted. I did a panorama. Oh, cheating. Okay, let's go back to the library. You are going to see a panorama here. This was done on my DSLR, which Lightroom creates a TNG file. It's not been processed yet. A little bit clearer, less noise than the iPhone. Is that people? That's ice. We've had a bunch of people fall through. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Crazy. And just for good measure, Lightroom Web. Again, a bunch of DSLR shots. So I called it a lackluster sunset, and it was. I mean, this is what we were shooting. There's some of the DNG files. Unfortunately, I can't do a text filter here. But I at least thought shooting straight into this would be a good example. And then, of course, sunset got pretty crazy. So never leave a sunset until it's done. And bring your iPhone just in case.